Greetings everybody, welcome to another copy-paste engineering from Mercedes. When I look at the current generation of EQ line, I see how desperately Mercedes wants to shove those cars into consumers' mouths with same aggression as I shove fast food into my mouth at 2 AM after talking to my ex-girlfriend and realizing that all her logical arguments were true and that I was very wrong. Design of this car screams that designers had zero imagination. It is exact copy of Mercedes EQS. Designers didn't even try to make it a little bit different. Many will say that designers didn't touch the structure of the car so they can preserve the record-breaking drag coefficient of 0.2. My personal opinion that this is a political level of lying. At least they could change the different plastic at the front or the color of the plastic or do something different. Car looks like a used soap and it does perfect job of not attracting any attention to it. It looks futuristic in a very bad way. Try to remember any futuristic movie and that has very ugly futuristic cars.
Brother,
This is how it feels like when I look at this car. I have a feeling that Mercedes spent least amount of cash possible on creating this car. In past developments of S-Class or E-Class, the budget was very big, $1 billion, $2 billion. And we received one of the best cars in the world. With this situation, you can clearly see how accountants made every decision in designing room and engineering rooms. Car is wider and longer than a new E-Class, and of course, much more uglier. The new E-Class is quite a looker, but this makes my eyes burn. Interior looks fancy and very tech-savvy and little bit gay. The 12.3-inch tachometer is huge and I don't see any logical purpose of this huge screen that's showing me important information like speed, directions and stuff like that, but I don't need a huge TV to show me that. I have like window to look at and drive a car. And also we have a huge hyper screen. If you pay a little bit more, then it's available. And the size of it is 12.8 inches. Many reviewers compliment the software and customer experience of every feature in the screen. Also, we have a fingerprint recognition and face recognition and the digital light that can help to navigate through the road, projecting signs and different things that really are not necessary. This huge multimedia system has 24 GB of RAM and 8 CPU cores. And that makes me even more depressed to review Mercedes and talk about gigabytes and CPUs. Interior is spacious and family friendly. It is a liftback and not conventional sedan, so you do have huge space in interior. So we have gigantic panoramic roof and Burmeister audio system that comes as standard in all EQE cars. Driving of EQE is much more interesting than everything else about this car. It has optional rear steering that makes this car sharp in the corners, and even with huge weight, more than 2 tons, it is very nimble. It has 3 regenerative systems and one of them even offers one pedal driving mode. And I do not recommend to test it and use it a lot because you never know what can happen. We have 7 different power delivery options. Battery is all the same in all the trims, but there are 7 different power outputs. The only difference mechanically is you can order a single motor or dual motor trim. Single motors start from 241 brake horsepower and 550 Nm of torque up to 288 brake horsepower and 780 Nm of torque. And the longest range on the single motor is 660 kilometers and the smallest 550, and 660 kilometers it's not bad. 0 to 100 kilometers in single motors will happen in 7.3 seconds or 6.6. Those numbers are with the single motors. Dual motors are a little bit more interesting. So the power output comes from 400 brake horsepower and 880. Dual motors are a little bit more interesting. Power output comes from 400 brake horsepower and 880 Nm of torque up to 677 brake horsepower and 1000 Nm of torque. 0 to 100 can happen in 4.7 seconds, or if you have the AMG trim, in 3.3 seconds. Dual motor range is much less than the single motor. So the smallest range starts from 450 kilometers on the single charge and the longest is 600 kilometers. And To achieve those numbers, you must drive like a 102-year-old priest. What I truly hate about this car is the price. It starts from $50,000 and up to $90,000. EVs do not cost that much today. And with that huge markup, no one would buy it. Today, in 2024, EVs are not so expensive as they used to be in like 8 years ago. So Mercedes clearly getting very greedy with their EV cars. And with the aggressive competition from China, they can lose the market very fast. And I'm very confident that in few years, those exact EQE, EQS and other EQ shit cars will cost from $30,000 up to $50,000. Brand new from the factory. Reason for that is very simple. Global consumers still value petrol-powered luxury cars, but EV cars are all the same for all the consumers. So if you have same car that has same power, a lot of features, and you pay 50% less, but it's from China, nobody cares, everybody will buy it. So what is the point of paying more? This is the biggest problem of new luxury brands making EV cars, and they're losing market share every day. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your opinion in the comments. What do you think about the new EV markets and luxury markets? Do you agree with me or not? Take care and bye bye.